Every morning, millions of seniors reach for their favorite breakfast foods, often choosing white bread slices or sugary cereals, because they provide quick energy and comfort. To the untrained eye, these meals seem harmless, even wholesome, especially since they're so common and widely accepted as part of a routine. But beneath this seemingly innocent choice lies a hidden danger that gradually sabotages their health in ways they never suspect. When consuming these foods, the rapid influx of sugar causes blood sugar levels to spike sharply within just 15 minutes. These spikes do more than just give a temporary energy boost. They set off a silent chain reaction inside the body that inflames the delicate lining of blood vessels. The endothelium, which is responsible for maintaining vascular health, becomes irritated and damaged. Over weeks and months, this repeated inflammation weakens arterial walls, making them more prone to tears and cracks. Small injuries develop, creating tiny openings through which cholesterol and fatty deposits can begin to accumulate. These small fissures allow plaques to start forming on the inner walls of arteries, building up layer upon layer. These early plaques are fragile, composed of fatty material, dead cells, and cholesterol. As they grow larger, they become more unstable and prone to rupture. The damage that starts with a simple dietary choice transforms into a ticking time bomb hidden inside the arteries. This gradual process is often silent, with no symptoms until the danger is imminent. The blood vessels are gradually narrowing, and the inflammation renders the arterial walls more fragile, setting the stage for a catastrophic event. The real threat becomes apparent when a vulnerable plaque suddenly ruptures, causing the formation of a large blood clot that can instantly block blood flow. This process might happen without warning, striking in seconds just after a meal while the senior is unaware that their everyday breakfast is now a deadly trigger. The stakes are deadly high because these ruptured plaques and blood clots are responsible for the majority of fatal heart attacks and strokes, which can occur with no prior warning signs. The damage initiated by a simple breakfast food extends far beyond just a trivial health issue. It is a silent, persistent assault that weakens the arteries daily, inching closer to disaster. The gradual buildup is insidious, yet the ultimate danger is immediate and unavoidable when a clot suddenly seals off a vital artery, cutting off oxygen supply to the heart or brain. The heartbreaking reality is that this process can be happening inside many seniors' bodies right now, unnoticed, until a catastrophic event claims their life without warning. The key to understanding this danger is recognizing how specific foods trigger an inflammatory response in the bloodstream. To prevent this destructive chain reaction, a precise dietary intervention can be employed. Switching the morning meal from refined carbohydrates to a carefully measured portion of oatmeal, specifically 1/2 cup cooked, topped with a 1/4 cup of fresh blueberries, a tablespoon of crushed walnuts, and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, can dramatically reduce inflammation. Eating this meal at a temperature no higher than 140 degrees Fahrenheit helps prevent further endothelial irritation. This small change can dissolve existing plaques, stabilize new ones, and lower the risk of rupture, offering a powerful shield against one of the most silent yet deadly dangers seniors face every day. As the inflammation from daily habits persists silently inside the arteries, the danger escalates far beyond initial damage. Small plaques that once remained stable begin to grow larger and more fragile over months and years, transforming into unstable masses that pose a lethal threat. These larger plaques, often exceeding 1/2 centimeter in diameter, can cause the arteries to gradually narrow by up to 70%, significantly reducing blood flow to essential organs such as the heart and brain. This gradual constriction often occurs without any noticeable symptoms, leaving seniors unaware that their life is hanging by a thread. The walls of the arteries become increasingly weakened with each inflammation cycle, making them susceptible to cracks and tears that occur spontaneously or in response to even minor increases in blood pressure or physical activity. The true danger lies in how these unstable plaques can rupture without warning, releasing what appears to be a tiny crack in the arterial lining, but in reality unleashes a catastrophic event that sets the stage for deadly clot formation. Once a plaque ruptures, the interior of the artery is exposed to the bloodstream, triggering the body's natural clotting response. Platelets rush to the site, and within seconds, they cluster together, forming a massive clot that can extend several millimeters in length. This blood clot, often measuring between 20 to 50 millimeters in size, looms silently within the vessel, unseen by the person experiencing no pain until it fully occludes the artery. This formation can happen in an astonishing 30 seconds to just a minute, depending on the size of the rupture and the body's response. The clot acts like an insidious stopper, sealing the artery shut, cutting off oxygen and vital nutrients to the heart muscle or brain tissue. In many cases, the clot's formation begins immediately after the rupture, and it can be complete within seconds, especially when the person is at rest or engaged in light activity. Without rapid intervention, this dynamic process leads to a complete and sudden blockage of blood flow. The stroke or heart attack that follows can be devastating, occurring so abruptly that the victim often has no warning signs, experiencing only a brief moment of discomfort or no symptoms at all. The severity depends on the size of the clot and the location of the obstruction, with full occlusion leading to tissue death within minutes. The initial rupture begins as a tiny breach, often less than 1 millimeter wide, in a plaque that has been silently building for years. Once broken, this weak spot becomes the epicenter of a lethal chain reaction that can seal off the artery, destroying the oxygen supply to a vital organ in as little as 30 seconds. This process underscores the profound importance of understanding that plaque instability and rupture are the most immediate threats to seniors' health, often unfolding in the aftermath of what seems like an ordinary day. Recognizing the signs of plaque vulnerability involves monitoring blood pressure closely, maintaining optimal levels below 120/80 millimeters of mercury, and avoiding sudden physical exertion after meals. Consuming anti-inflammatory foods such as omega-3 rich fish, especially 100 grams of salmon cooked at 140 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, can strengthen the arterial walls. It is critical to maintain blood vessel health by ensuring the internal temperature of such fish does not exceed 140 degrees Fahrenheit, as higher temperatures can cause oxidation and damage to delicate endothelial tissues. The culmination of these processes illustrates how a slowly growing and unstable plaque can turn deadly in moments, transforming from a silent threat into a full-blown medical disaster in less than a minute once rupture and clot formation occur. The key lies in prevention by controlling inflammation, avoiding known triggers like refined carbohydrates, and adopting dietary habits that promote arterial stability, thus interrupting this deadly cascade before it even begins. In the silent depths of most hospitals and morgues, an alarming truth lurks behind the tragic loss of countless seniors. Studies consistently reveal that in 9 out of 10 fatal autopsies, the culprit is a ruptured plaque hidden deep within their arteries. These plaques, often measuring just a few millimeters when stable, can quietly enlarge over months or even years without any obvious symptoms. Unnoticed, they become insidiously fragile, especially when exposed to ongoing inflammation from daily habits such as high refined carbohydrate intake and inadequate nutrition. Without warning, these vulnerable plaques can rupture in a fraction of a second, exposing the interior of the artery to the bloodstream. Once exposed, the body's natural clotting response jumps into action within seconds, rapidly forming a large blood clot that can be several millimeters in size. This clot acts like an insidious plug, sealing off the artery entirely and halting blood flow to vital organs like the heart and brain in moments. These sudden blockages often occur without warning, with victims experiencing only a brief moment of discomfort or perhaps no warning signs at all. Tragically, the process unfolds so rapidly that interventions may come too late. This unseen killer is responsible for a death every 47 seconds, passing unnoticed through the simplest everyday habits, particularly the typical senior breakfast of refined grains and sugary foods that gradually weaken arterial walls. Every bite taken in innocence could be setting the stage for catastrophic rupture with devastating finality. The case is even more chilling because these plaques develop silently, often unrecognized until they unleash lethal damage. The buildup of fatty deposits and fragile layers of cholesterol in the arterial wall gradually transforms into a deadly ticking time bomb. That tiny, innocent-looking crack in a plaque, triggered by minor increases in blood pressure or physical exertion, can be the catalyst for a catastrophic event. The rupture of a plaque unleashes a chain reaction of danger that culminates in a massive blood clot that seals the artery shut within seconds. Such complete occlusion traps oxygen and nutrients, causing tissue death in the heart or brain within minutes. The tragedy is that many seniors are unaware of the danger lurking inside their bodies. trusting in their routines and dietary habits that have quietly contributed to this process. The tragic irony is that this silent threat can be prevented long before it reaches the point of rupture. The solution is surprisingly simple yet profoundly effective. Replacing a standard breakfast of refined grains or sugary cereals with a measured half cup of cooked oatmeal topped with a quarter cup of fresh blueberries, a tablespoon of crushed walnuts, and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon creates a powerful barrier against inflammation. Consuming this meal at no higher than 140 degrees Fahrenheit ensures the delicate endothelial lining is not further damaged by excessive heat. Regularly eating this heart-protective breakfast stabilizes existing plaques, reduces inflammation, and prevents the formation of unstable, leak-prone fatty deposits. This one small change can fundamentally alter the trajectory of arterial health for seniors, stopping the deadly chain reaction before it begins and saving countless lives from the horror of sudden, silent death.